Welcome to today's show. I'm Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman, and Jen is on her Q Cross meeting tonight. So with me is my wonderful husband named
Scott Bates,
and he is here to help me run the board and answer questions and do what we need to do. So I love having callers and many things like this. So we already have people in line, so we're just going to start taking the first call.
Okay, this is area code 404.
You're on the air with Brenda and Scott. Hello.
Hi, I was wondering, would you be able to give me like healing?
Would you, a reading?
Or a healing, or...
Oh, healing. Oh, yes, there's different ways. Okay, so what's going on, honey, that causes to feel like you have to be healed? What do you need?
I don't know, I just feel like I got drained, you know, from like my energy or like my positive feelings, and
Okay.
I feel a little nervous about tomorrow, so...
Okay, so just give me a second.
Okay.
You said you're nervous about tomorrow. Is that affecting your sleeping? Is it creating anxiety?
Yeah, I'm just going to check my performance tomorrow. I have to do something like with skills, and so I was really hoping in my vibrations, I don't know if they're like out of whack or not, or
Okay,
you know,
so
but
let
I
me...
was hoping maybe.
Alright, so let me just look at this real quick. Yes, there is much anxiety. It does throw the energy off. On my website, there is what they call the Wayne Cook posture. And that's going to help your scrambled energies, and it'll help you get more in balance, not feel so scattered or anxiety. You can go to mwreveal.com. And on the left-hand side is Healing Tools, and you look for Wayne Cook posture. There's a regular posture and there's an alternative posture. That's going to, you may have to do that several times, especially right before the performance, but it'll help you be in sync. One of the things is when our energy is scattered like that, we can wipe ourselves out, and we can wipe the people out in front of us. And if you're going to do something tomorrow, you may want to make sure that you're connected to the audience. So let me just, let me look a little bit further. You're going in, your body's trying to go into the flight mode of wanting to run. Consciously you're like, I'm happy, I want to do this, but your other part of you is like, oh hell no. So you're fighting with yourself. It's called the conflict. And the best way to do that is notice how much you feel the anxiety. You put it on a scale from 0 to 10, and you give it, 10 is the worst, and give it a color. And you can have higher than a 10, but look at how you know it. You'll stare right at the anxiety. You'll focus on it. You're like, oh my God, I know this. There's another healing tool called Hope Therapy, and that's also can be found on mwreveal.com on the left-hand side, Healing Tools, and look for Hope Therapy. And all you have to do is hold the code, which is R2S. You're going to hold your right wrist in the second position, and you're going to put your thumb in soft, your finger in the middle of your palm, and you're going to place your hand on your forehead and your hairline. And then all you have to do then is just think about how you know the anxiety. You can stare at it, you can talk about all the different things that are bothering you, how you know it. I mean, it feels like it, because the way I'm looking at it, it feels like the anxiety is looking at you going, I've got my eyes on you, and I know that I'm going to trip you up. It feels like it's overpowering. So, in this case, what will happen is the color and the number, you test it again, and as you're holding that position, the color and the number is going to change and then start to disappear. Make sure you test it and do your best to get it down to a 0 or a 1, because as the age you are now, the anxiety first came about when you were about 1.5, 2 years old, when you kept getting passed around to, I just feel like you had an audience, just like people wanted to hold you, people wanted, or however it was. But the thing is after a while, it's like you were having anxiety. I don't want to go to Grandma's house because I don't want to sit on Grandma's lap, or however it was. There was just the way that your 2-year-old self made the decision about what was happening in the moment, which affects you now. Okay? And all we're going to do is going to help you calm down your alarm system, which brings the blood back up to your forebrain, and it stops all that anxiety. Now, if you feel like the anxiety is popping back up after you felt like it left, remember, it is about the layers. Go back to R2S. And you're going to retrain your frontal lobe that creates your reality, then it doesn't have to do that. Now I'm going to look a little deeper and see if there's anything else specific. And you'll have to forgive yourself because you constantly are denigrating whether you did it right or you did it wrong. Somehow you're critiquing yourself so harshly, and you have other people in your head that you think that they're critiquing you harshly too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, also on the website, mwreveal.com, you look on the left-hand side, look for thought management. And the thought management helps control the voices that sound like your father or your mother. All the people, including your best friend and peers, or people you didn't even know, their looks, okay? Not just the words, but their looks. And we have those thoughts running through our head, and it interferes with our own thoughts. And we use those thoughts to see if we're doing it okay. We're comparing ourselves, and we're trying to check our insecurities. We're trying to check to see if we're safe. But all they do is interfere. So use the thought management tool, and then put all the people you can think of in boxes, and all the instructions is right there. And then when you start to denigrate yourself, just realize, where in the heck did I ever learn that program? And do I really need it? That's not helping me. Then what you can do is go to Meridian Tools. That's also a healing tool on our site. And just notice there's just a tapping. And every time you're about ready to feel like you're denigrating yourself, even if you already did it, just start tapping out. And you don't have to say anything specific because you already know the feeling. You already know what's going on. And once you start to tap that out, that you'll disrupt the signal so your frontal lobe will stop creating reality that way. And you can actually retrain your brain not to have that in your life. I'm going to look a little deeper and see if there's anything else that specifically needs to be... No, that looks like it covers it. So what's going to cover is it's going to help take care of those thoughts. And because for every thought you think, you create chemical peptides. You have to feel what you're thinking. And if you're thinking what other people are thinking, then you're going to create chemical peptides, and then you're going to feel that again. And there's a part of you that also, but you're not, okay, so part of you says, oh, I feel alive when I feel this anxiety, but you're not the type that you're addicted to it where you have to have the strategy where you have to have that first before you can have success. So that's a good thing. You don't have to heal that out. But it is very much nervous knots. It's like now instead of in your stomach, it's up in your throat. And what that means is that in the throat area, it's about your volition to move, that you can do this. Now, I can tell you that you have had pathways before. So have you been able to do performances before, be in front of people and be okay to do it before?
You mean like with, I'm sorry, repeat that, like one performance that I'm doing tomorrow?
Yes. Have you ever performed in front of anybody before?
Yes.
Okay. And you did okay, correct?
Yeah.
Well, you already have the pathways that says everything's going to be okay. And you don't have to have that strategy where you have to get all nervous and then do it. It's old hat to you. You know how to do this. If I asked you to say your name, are you going to have trouble saying your name, or would you be able to just say your name?
I'd be able to just say my name.
Because you already have the confidence of doing it. And it's the same way about performing. It doesn't matter what you're performing. You already know that you can do it. So you can skip the pattern of having to be nervous. Like every show I do not go into the thinking the night before. And what happens is you can disrupt this signal. We can work on it by saying, oh my God, I should or shouldn't do it. And it's way too much thinking. All you have to do is just keep tapping it out. Now every time I do my shows or teach classes, I just step up to the plate. I don't think about it beforehand. I don't need to think about it beforehand. I just listen and tune into my higher self about what and how I'm supposed to be in the moment for each and every other person. So you can do this too. You already know that you can do it. You've already done it in the past. And you can do it better each time because it's called the learning curve. And the more practice that you do it, the more professional you become. Just like you already know your name. You don't have to practice that. You already know it. So you have great confidence in yourself. There's a part of you that's almost like you're afraid to have confidence in yourself, because if you do, somebody's going to come along and say to you, who the hell do you think you are? You're kind of big for your britches, aren't you? But you know what? You're already good. It's not that you're bragging. It's not that you have to be afraid of doing it. Just allow your self-esteem. Have you ever seen professionals be really professional at what they do? Most of them are not cocky. They know what they're doing. And it's okay for you to do that too. Okay?
Okay.
So the biggest thing is to kick those people out of your head. What's that?
So you have any, you're suggesting thought management, hope therapy, and meridian tapping?
Yes. And when you do the hope therapy, remember your code is R2S. R is in the right wrist, second position, and you're going to hold soft. And the thought management, you'll look at that, and you'll do exactly what it tells. And then as far as the meridian tapping, it's very simple. You don't have to have a phrase, but if you do have a phrase, then that's great. You know, like, even though I feel this way, I deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. But most of the time you can just stare at it and go, oh my God, and just tap, and don't have to have words. But yeah, I think those are the three I think I said. I don't remember if I said any more. But, oh no, Wayne Cook posture. That was another one. Okay? And that's the one so you can unscramble your energies. Because if you're are you going to be forming with other people?
Yeah, other people will probably be going at the same time as me when I go at my performance, but
Okay.
we're not going to be working on it together.
Okay, so what that means is that you're going to be picking up the vibes from other people. And if they're nervous, it's going to increase yours to be worse. Definitely do the Wayne Cook posture so that you can allow yourself to be more present. Now, I can't remember if I put it up there or not. It's called Zip Up. And if it's not on mwreveal.com, then go to Medicine Woman, that's with an A, Medicine Woman, the number 4, the letter U.com. So that's www.medicinewoman, the number 4, the letter U.com. Look under Healing Tools, and it should be there called Zip Up. Because that's going to protect you and create an egg around you so you don't have to feel everybody else's stuff. Because when you feel other people's stuff, you create chemical peptides, and so you start feeling what they're feeling, and you can't start separating yourself between you and them. So I would suggest you do that one as well.
Okay.
Okay?
And what is R2S?
R2S is just the initials, R2S. R represents the right wrist. Number 2 is the second position on the wrist. And then S represents soft. And I do videotape all my programs so you could actually see what I was referring to. But when you start watching the videos, you will start noticing exactly what I'm talking about, okay?
Okay.
All right, you keep us contact, and you have a wonderful time about it tomorrow. I know you're going to have a great time, and because it's your thing.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, dear, and stay blessed. All right, so we'll take the next caller.
Oh, okay, the next caller is area code 440.
You're on the air with Brenda and Scott. Hello.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, thank you for calling in. How can I help you?
Well, we are going through some real turmoil at work with jobs. They're going through a downsizing, forced relocation, and all kinds of things.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if you have any advice or can see in terms of how things are going to fare for me.
Okay, so what I want you to do is focus on your job and
Okay.
the things that you do. And I think you're supposed to also focus on, like, if you have some bosses. I don't know why, but just do that for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw cards because I want to see what the angels and the guides say is there. And let's see. Now, for the company, they're going to have to hit rock bottom. That was obvious. Okay, so what about her? We're asking about her. I've got to put the cards back in deck. Hold on here. What about her? And in this case, I'm going to ask my husband to draw the card to see what happens.
Okay, and I drew the Bone Collector, card number 1 in the book.
And it's reversed. And I'm going to have him read it, so hopefully he'll...
Okay, once I get to the right spot here. And it is reversed, yes. The past has a way of repeating itself when you haven't learned the lesson inherent in the original situation.
All right, stop right there. So they're telling me that with your job, there's something that you're repeating. So I'm just going to find out what are you guys referring to when you're saying that she hasn't learned something. Shock. Shock seems to affect you the most. And you've had much shock in the past, and they said that actually stuck like, I don't want to say your neck, but I feel like it is a little bit in your neck and a little bit of the back of the head of your skull. I don't know if this energy can cause you to have headaches or it can cause you to have lower back pain, which sounds strange. Why is it in the neck? But It's about sticking your neck out and being able to be safe. So, we'll go to the next one.
Okay, you're faced with this now. The Bone Collector is here to challenge you to see yourself as a whole being and not one who is perpetually trying to heal an old wound. You'll repeat the past if you don't reclaim the things you believe were lost.
Okay, so we have to reclaim your power, because what does shock do? It displaces you. It puts your energy in another position. Now, they're showing me specific shocks, and they were very jolting to you. And I see them as an adult. Now, I'm going to ask if there's anything else. Do we need to address those? Okay, there's some. They said one in particular, is it, and I add, is it this job situation? No, feeling like you're going to lose your home. Do you feel that way?
No.
Have you ever felt that way?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what it's reverting on. Now, I'm supposed to give you this analogy. Like, for instance, when people have ribs that are popped out of place, that is when they feel like they're going to go on skid row. Your body starts telling you signs and symptoms about what it is you're worrying, thinking about, or you're picking up from the environment. And they're saying that in the past, this shock was that, oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to be on skid row. I'm not going to be able to manage. Now, how many times has that happened in your life? About once, maybe?
Being on skid row or being through the shock?
Any of it, if you want to. Let's go for skid row first.
Okay, yeah, I've never been on skid row.
Amen.
So they've always taken care of me.
Amen.
Yes,
see?
amen.
Look at you got pathways. Good job. Keep going.
But this is probably a cycle, probably every 3 years or less that I've gone through. And although I'm doing better on, I will call it the recovery, the feeling like you've been punched in the gut.
Yes.
And the shock is, still there.
Okay. And what's going to happen is that I'm so proud of you for picking up the fact you see that it's a seasonal or a cycle in itself that's causing this. And, and you're thinking, cause? Well, let's back up. You are able to read the code of your soul. Your soul is telling you, oh, we have something that disrupted us. And what occurs then is your subconscious mind's number one job is to preserve the body. And that also includes your life. So it's going to scan through where you have energy loss. And in this case, you had a shock, and energy that your personal life force used, mark that moment of that shock. Now, as the subconscious mind scans for it, it goes up and down, and it looks at the energy loss, and it tells you by maybe having a disruption in the body, by creating, they call a whisper an opportunity first, which is starts showing you little signs. But if you don't get it on the first couple signs, then there's the bee sting, up to the bitch slap. And this is where you have to hit rock bottom, this is where you have to have a shock, and you're like, what the hell? And that is what they're telling me, is they want you to heal the shock. So in this case, since you already know the shocks and the specific ones in your life, and just allow yourself to recognize, where is that shock sitting in your body? Where is that shock sitting in your life? And just explore by thinking, contemplating, just being. And I would then tell you to use a tool to help you heal that, because if you already know these thoughts, that means you've repetitively have been thinking about them, because we have 41 thoughts per minute, and most of the time we don't even know what we're thinking, except for the conscious ones. But your body has been creatively, in your frontal lobe, has been creating your reality to show up this way. So it is picked up on a cycle. It's picked up on these little things. So in this case, I would tell you to go to our website, mwreveal.com, left-hand side, healing tools. Look for Hope Therapy, because we want you to heal that shock out of your system so that you can get your personal power back, and you can actually stop putting the attraction factor out for the law of attraction to keep showing you up that you have to have this shock or you have to go through this terror. And I love the fact that you notice, hey, I never really was on Skid Row. Hey, I've always made it through. Because you know you've made it through, it helps you out because you have a pathway of knowing that you can make it through, and it creates a safety net so that you can go into your house and get rid of them. That's the best thing.
Okay.
So,
what was your website again?
Okay, you're going to go to M as in medicine, W as in women, Reveal, REVEAL.com. And you're going to look on the left-hand side for healing tools, and then a drop-down list will show you Hope Therapy. Your code for Hope Therapy is R3S. R means the right wrist, And then 3 is in the 3rd position on the pulse point, and then S represents soft. And I want you to conjure up every shock you've ever had. And you'll be surprised at how many will just pop up. You get it on a scale from 0 to 10, and you give it a color, and when you start doing it, all of a sudden, it just starts to dissipate and disappear. And you think, oh, wow, that feels better. And that's because you're removing the familiarity, you're filing it away, and the memory, and you're getting rid of all of the chemical peptides that finally are looking for a home. Well, now they can dissolve. And what's going to happen is that, because I see the cycle as layers, you're going to, something else will just pop back up. You're like, oh my God, it didn't work. No, it did work. Because now your subconscious mind's going, oh my God, she's listening, yay! Oh, how about healing this one too? And so you're going to go, I can, yes I can. And you're going to sit back down and you're going to hold R3S one more time. And you're going to keep doing this until everything goes to 0 and white. And you're just going to keep healing until your body says, I don't have to really create the shock anymore. And you're going to go, correct. Okay? So I'm going to have my husband read just a little more, okay?
Okay. The information you seek lies in your history. Familiarity in this case isn't an invitation to dance the old dance again. Instead, it is a call to retreat and choose differently. The bone collector has a message. If you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Her warning is delivered with kindness, for she has deep love and respect for you. She will protect you.
Okay, so now I'm going to draw one more card that talks about, we're going to find out as you look at your business, the business again, and we're going to find out what is it that your soul needs you to know about this whole situation, and we're going to see what comes up. Okay, it's in details.
Details. Card 43. Okay, let's see what it has to say here. The most powerful patterns are created within the tiniest details. Pay attention. This is the time to be aware of the fine print in all areas of your life. Look at the details and leave the broad strikes for another time. When this card appears in a reading, it is a sign of finesse. It is a sign to finesse a project, make small but meaningful gestures, or add a personal touch to your correspondence. Be aware that what you need to know lies in the details. If you're entering into an agreement of any kind, pay attention to them before, not after, when it's too late. Clarity and transparency are the key. When you can gain great understanding by observing the minute body language, offhand remarks, and fleeting facial expressions that reveal the larger picture.
Okay, so what they're telling you is that you're in the waiting room. It hasn't unfolded yet about your career, your job, or the business in hand. It's unfolding. Now, I did pull a card, and I have no idea what this is about, because it says that the question that came up was, if she did the healing, what would occur next for you in that layer? And it said Ghostlands in reversed, and it says when the Ghostlands card appears reversed, it's a sign that you're wandering in an emotional or intellectual place with no real substance. And what they're saying is that there's a part of you that is creating a new pathway for yourself. So you may try to revert back to what's familiar and going, oh my God, yeah, I had this pain over here, or I liked it long ago. But just understand that Spirit has your back. You healed this shock so much so that you will be allowed to use synchronicity as a tool. Now, I don't have that up on my website, but synchronicity is basically saying thank you for, thank you for my job, regardless if you have one or not. And thank you for breakfast. Yeah, you may eat or you may not, or you can have better than what is expected. Meaning, one day I was saying, oh, thank you for lunch. And the next thing you know, someone come knocking at my door. Hey, would you like to go out to lunch? I'm buying. I thought, wow, that's great. So it is learning synchronicity and paying attention to that energy, because we get two energies that are constantly coming at us, a positive and negative. And we've trained ourselves to always see the negative just so we survive. But if there's so many limitations with that. So when you're living in synchronicity, you're saying thank you, and you're letting Spirit to show you the positive energy, and it's going to point to you. How about doing this? How about doing that? And you may be surprised. And what I call, Kevin Bacon always talked about the 6 degrees of separation. And you may be led to talk to one person and lead to the next person, which will be the thing that will make you much more happier. As you heal your hells, you actually get in touch with your true identity and your happiness and your purpose. So I would say this is a great thing for you. So remember, go and heal. I know you can, okay?
Very good. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Stay in contact, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. And we're back. So there's a lot of interesting changes, and one of the things that this full moon has really come to
Was
my...
today the day of the full moon?
Yes.
I was outside here just after sunset, and boy, I could see it right in the horizon. It just
Yes.
coming up bright and beautiful.
Now, we took pictures yesterday of me outside with the moon behind me. My husband had me holding the moon.
Yes.
So he had me balanced just right so it looks like I was holding the moon.
In the palm of your hand. That's what we mean.
Yes. And hopefully I can put a little meme or something and get that up. But one of the things that it's asking, because, you know, there's rituals and everybody has their rituals and every ritual is correct because that is the definition, the belief system of their dimensional reality. They say it's not time to let go. You know, some people say the full moon is that you let go of stuff. Others say it's the new moon. But I can tell you the energy of this particular moon is about stepping up to your plate, stepping up to who you are. Now this is very huge because last year at this time, my cycle was a path switch. And that path switch was, again, I'm doing better at making more clarity, but I couldn't live in the same frequency with this wonderful man as I did many years ago. It just wasn't working. We were out of sync continuously. We were your average couple. You know, you have your ups and downs, you work it through, you do everything you're supposed to, but half the time you weren't happy. And do you love him? Yeah. But there was also these walls, heart walls, building up of hatred, building up of frustration, building up of, oh my God, do I really have to? And I did everything I could at the time of how I could make this relationship work. But we were just so far out of sync because I liked this and he liked that. And I made it work until I physically started to die off. My body started to deplete. And I watched a pattern. This pattern emerged was how I was a 3-year-old and the shock of how people don't like me, and so they'll insert their reality. So people will insert their reality into mine, override mine, and I have no choice but to ride this out. And most of the time people are very negative, they're very, very hellish, and it will create a situation where, are you going to keep repeating this? So you're letting go of old patterns, and mine was, I have to create a safe space for them, for me. So, as a 45-year-old woman, what is my recent thing? And it boiled down to, I left last year about this time, but I didn't really go anywhere, but I said I was done. Which I took the courage and stood up and said, I love you, but I can't do this anymore. And it was a shock to my husband. It really was. But I had to have the courage for me. Now, this is about individual spirituality, and me and my husband, because he's choosing with his will to be with me and to grow with me now versus before, it has now become a couple spirituality, or a, however you want to call it. It is how two people or two or more people are learning to communicate on that spiritual level, and we're done repeating specific history. So, again, he's a great man. What happened was that we were just out of sync. I grew in one direction, he grew in another. Not one is any better than the other. It's just that we were not able to communicate, even though our soul says, hey, I want to, be with you. And the hardest part was to have the courage to let him go. I had my first chakra of feeling, yes, I know that God will provide for me, and that was very stable. Which gave me the confidence that I can do this. I don't know what direction, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to use synchronicity to find it. During that time, I had done a healing, which was called soul releasing, a soul cord releasing, and that is, I took and I did a releasing of his soul cord to me and says, you're not obligated to have to follow me in this lifetime. We don't have to do this. And I released him. And at first, for 3 days, and I don't know how much he remembers,
Not much.
but for 3 days, it was intense. Yeah, I'm ready for divorce. Screw you. Don't care. Blah, blah, blah. I'll take everything you got. Even though that's not his nature, it brought out the worst because you're fighting and you're upset and you're hurt and you don't know how to really react in a particular shocking situation. Now, I had tried for many years to communicate with him about my spirituality, show him my books, do some readings, do a hands-on healing, and that's your thing. But in the meantime, he was going through his own specific issues about how I was spending all this money and we're not able to survive because it's my fault, all this other stuff. But again, this is typically a, what do you call it, a normal relationship on the group consciousness of what relationship is.
Yes.
And I boldly, because I'm a soul coach, I have to have my individual spirituality, which I had for many moons. I wanted that partner spirituality, which is very important. And I wanted somebody that was on the same page, that was like-minded, that I could communicate with. Because even though he let me do what I needed to do, be my own person, there was not that conversation. So every time I would come up to him, I would have to shut my voice down. It's not that I couldn't have a voice, but I couldn't communicate with him because he wouldn't understand anything I say, and anything I did say he would get mad at because I'm talking in a different way. So I learned to shut down. I'd go to my family functions and I could never talk about me or talk about what's going on because nobody wanted to hear it. So I would shut down. And what happened to my body was that it was just falling apart. I would take on their grief. I would end up taking, because of my 3-year-old situation that I was in, whatever reality they had, they would take and insert it in mine, and I would have to be destined to follow what they wanted. I was saying a couple of days ago, I can't remember if it was Monday, like when I was driving to Lansing, I was driving, my husband was sitting in the passenger seat, and and somebody was in the back seat. What ended up happening was that I'm getting all the red lights. That's not me, is it, Scott?
No, not really.
And I got every slow car possible. That's
Yeah,
not me either.
you'd finally get around to somebody else would pull out in front of you just to drive half the speed limit.
Yes. So I said, okay, I get it.
And the roads are clear and it was dry. It's
Yeah.
not like it was snowing or anything.
And we had to have the windows rolled down a little bit because the person with us was sick, and just, I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand that this is a clue to what I need to address, because I couldn't be me. And so I kept note of it all day long, and finally at the end of the day, Spirit says, are you tired of people inserting their reality into your space? And I'm thinking, yes. And how did it happen before? It was so subtle you didn't notice it. Like I'd be driving along and all of a sudden I want to swear at the driver next to me. I'm thinking, well, why? Because somebody in the back seat or next to me was thinking those thoughts. Now, out of the 41, they may not be paying attention to that they are thinking those thoughts. They're the behaviors that we create. It is the personalities that we have. They're used to being negative, or they're used to, finding reason to be mad at somebody. And I was displaying what they couldn't. And I'm like, seriously? Do I have to display what everybody don't want to display? I don't want to do that. But being a soul coach, I understood what was happening. So, the last few days, my body took a toll, and my whole hip, the lower part of my spine, as of a year ago or more.
It was a couple of years ago, I think.
It was a couple of years, I can't remember.
Yeah.
All I know is that my, let me just get it in my head. It's the lumbar spine, and the lumbars on the left-hand side, the bone is deteriorating. And so what it does is my hip goes out of place, the SI joint moves, and then I'm in nothing but constant pain. And so what happened was that I had done a good job. I got my dissertation done. My husband rewards me with a new coat and a pair of earrings because he wanted to, and that's not something he's used to doing, but the new him did.
Yes.
And it's like, wow,
Well, it's
I
something
almost
you
didn't
worked
want
on
it
for
because
like
I'm afraid.
How many years?
5, 6, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
was going to say.
I dedicated myself, trust
I
me.
remember trying to help you on that over a year ago. And, oh, boy.
But we got it done. And So
Finally
anyways,
done, yes.
I got a beautiful gifts, and I was almost afraid to tell somebody in my family. I kept my mouth shut. I wasn't going to say nothing, but of course it brought it up. Oh, you can't miss the new coat. I got pictures of it on Facebook, but you can't miss it. But then he bought. We haven't had a new TV. How many years? 20, 30 years? I don't know.
The last time we bought a TV was in the 90s, I think, and that
Okay.
was one of the. Well, now they got the
Flat panels and
LCDs and LEDs and all that. So we
But
bought a nice, just
we don't have a TV.
inexpensive one. Yeah, it wasn't that much.
We have 2 tiny TVs for our office, but we don't have a TV in the big room because I use a projection screen because I've got classes and things. So I just bought it, and now we just watch a big, huge 90-inch monitor.
Oh yeah, that was.
But it's on a wall,
the
you know.
cheapest route to use a projector with a
With
8-foot
everything
wide
I-
screen. Yeah.
With everything I was going to do. But we actually, and I never have a TV in my bedroom. But you know what? I made special times, Scott made special times, that we would go in and we would just say it's our time. Cut the rest of the world off, and it's our
I'm
time.
gonna go watch an old show or something. And what we've been watching here this week, that's what you bought last year, was all these Christmas episodes from these shows in the 50s. It's pretty fascinating to see the culture of our country back then and to see
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my gosh.
How women are supposed to behave, or
Oh,
if they didn't
man.
behave, you put them over your knee and spank them. And I'm like,
Even in the Christmas episodes, is like,
I'm like
you're a woman and you know your duties. Well, that wouldn't fly today.
oh no, especially for Scotty, he knows it wouldn't. But and then of course we get this we got an incredible deal. We only paid like $200 or $300. I don't remember it was. We got.
No, it was $250. Something that came on.
I know, but the point
almost
is
half prices. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a half price, and so we got a really great deal on a big TV, and that's just something that we normally don't do and couldn't do, but we were able to do, and
Yeah, we really haven't bought anything expensive in years.
no. And then finally he said, you know what, let's do this for ourselves, because we were using my laptop, which died, so we didn't have any way to watch TV anymore. And so he brought in this brand new TV, and it's lightweight. I can't believe how light this is. I could carry it. And he puts it down, and all of a sudden, my back started to hurt. And I thought, that's odd. So I was just paying attention, and I'll tell you the rest after this. Let's go to a break, and we'll be right back. So, as I was talking about, was that we've got this, there was no reason to buy the TV, except for we wanted to do something for ourselves. We learned a long time ago from his mother that if you don't have a little mad money in your pocket, you'll actually go mad. And for the first so many years, that's basically what had happened to us, was that neither one of us really had any money. And so we were actually getting mad at each other. And then Mom says, no, take 10 or take 20 and put it aside every week so you can have it in your purse. Put it in your wallet so that you have extra. And she was right. It actually started to take away the idea of having to be mad at each other. And because we could never buy that pop or buy that thing we were looking for. And before I go into the rest of the story, we're going to take and do a general reading for someone in the room. Okay? Is that what they wanted? Correct? It's a general reading. Which I'm talking to my husband, which
Yes, that's
you
correct.
can stare at the screen
I
all you
was
want.
reading.
I need you to talk to me.
Need me to reply? Yes, somebody asked for a general reading, so okay.
All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to tune into this person. This person will just be who they are. You're not feeling at home about something, or something at
The
home
home
is
card. Let me
changing.
see this as reversed.
So my husband will read
okay,
27.
card number 27.
home, and it's in reversed from the Enchanted Map.
Yes. Okay, just gotta find the right page.
And as soon as she finds
Okay, if you don't feel at home, it's time to do a thorough and fearless inventory. What are you hiding from? Are you afraid of being yourself? Do you feel that you don't belong where you are? What if you chose another path? Does your understanding of home perhaps dictate that such a place might be unsafe, unstable, or unfilling? It's time to love yourself and create a new sense of safety and security within. You might have chosen a situation that's familiar and led you back to the original source of your pain. No matter, because this is an important and powerful invitation to a new you. Say no to the pain of the past. Say no to the voice of your inner critic. No to those who want to dim your light to make themselves brighter. Choose a new home. Take refuge in knowing that beauty and a true sense of belonging lie ahead.
All right. Boy, that really sounds like the story that I'm talking about, because you have to have that courage to love yourself and to move forward, but it's not the easiest thing to do, especially if the first chakra is about safety, about where you're going to live, how you're going to survive, how you're going to do things. And when that part of you starts to stir up, it can create all kinds of havoc. I mean, it literally did for me when I could no longer just be a housewife. I could no longer just be the cook and a mother, and my soul was searching for something more. So I'm going to look at what they want to have you address, and well, I find some shock in your body too. The shock now has it's an old shock, and you let time take care of it. So time took care of it to the point where it went to a particular numbing stage. So you didn't think or didn't feel about it. It's not something, you know, hey, I don't care. It's not there in my space. But it is. And it feels like a lead weight dragging you down at times. I don't know why, but it feels like maybe in the breast region or the third chakra region, which could be the spleen or the pancreas or somewhere right in there, even the stomach. But they say that you have learned to check out, meaning everyday things, you don't have to participate, and you feel the comfort zone. And part of where I was going with the story that was happening with me is that we go into the familiarity of how to keep ourselves safe. It's the comfort zone. That's what I feel that's happening with you. And now they're telling me to draw another card.
Which deck are they telling you?
Well, from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed.
Yes.
You were thinking about how you said her name
No.
Yes, you were. I picked right up on your thought. I wasn't going to say it.
So I mispronounced her name one time.
Yeah, Colin Baron.
You'll never forget that.
I didn't. I did until I heard you.
The Hawk Princess says spirit communication, paying attention. Card number 11.
So you go ahead and you read that for her. And
Let's see what we have. If I can. This is a new book to me, so I gotta take a second to find the right page. The Hawk Prince. The Hawk Prince appears with good news. He flies into your life to alert you that a message is coming to help you manifest your destiny. Expect a phone call, letter, email, or conversation that lets you know the next step to take toward your greatest good, or to tell you that you have arrived at an important stage along your path. The Hawk Prince is also an ally for spirit communication, so pay attention when you think you hear something important pop out of you from the TV, radio, or in overhearing the conversations of strangers. Spirit is constantly in dialogue with you. Are you listening? Stay open and expect Spirit to speak to you and show you the way to your prosperity in all aspects of your life.
So Spirit has been talking to you, and they're telling you to do synchronicity and make it stick out like a sore thumb. And you probably have been noticing it, but what the hell are you supposed to do with that information? Especially when you are in a state of, I'm already content. Why would I want to change it? In this case, they're saying that the Spirit wants you to dream. It's not like going to sleep and dreaming. It is to dream. Whether you are capable of creating the dream to come true, they don't care. They want you to at least recognize there's a dream in you, and they just want you to fantasize, play, pretend. You can write a book about what your dreams can be if you physically can't do it. Or you pretend, and it's not that you will put what you have onto your kids or other people and want them to make your dream come true, but you are going to allow yourself to at least understand your dreams. Get into dreaming. Now I'm going to ask, have they dreaming and sleeping? Oh, that is another way they would like you to do it. If you wanted to start learning to do dream therapy, that is, you remember your dreams, you write them down, and then you interpret them. Because remember, everybody in a dream is an aspect of you. Everybody, every part of your house is something that represents something. It's the same thing on how I teach, and I put memes up about body parts. They represent life as birds, numbers, they represent life as. And in each one helps to show you and guide you to what you need. But they want you to begin to dream. So that would be awesome if that's what you can do. And if you want to participate and let me know that do you understand what I'm saying, or if there's something you want me to clarify, please do. This would be great, and this would be the time. You know, and I know there's a little delay in the
audio is a few seconds behind what we actually.
Right. So we're just going to wait a few seconds on that. But the part of it is that when it came to having the TV set, It was, did we have the money? Did we designate? Did we budget for it? No. And we were able to just take that spur of the moment and do something.
Yes.
When I brought it in, or it was seen by all, and the next thing you know, I could feel someone's grief, the chastisement, the judgment. I mean, it wasn't just feeling it. They were vocally expressing it. Couldn't understand. Was mad. And I could really see that they were mad that we didn't buy them a gift, or we were supposed to give them our monies, or we were supposed to do something for them. And even though we had, it wasn't good enough. They were like, how dare you? And it really had crushed to me to the point was that I'm just like, seriously? And I just walked away. But what it did was create me to shove any type of joy I have. I can't show the expression. I can't do this. I'm not allowed to. I can't just, I had to explain away why we did it. And that reason wasn't good enough. So what boils down to is I find that familiarity space is to give the reaction that I did as a kid. Shut up. Don't say anything. Make them feel better. Help them so they'll shut up and so that they don't have to. With all the people in the household, that's what I end up doing. Anytime I wanted to be my spiritual self of, hey, you can heal that. Oh, did you know that represents this? Oh my God, that's a clue. I could never express that because it wasn't, like, sorry, that's not life. What the hell are you doing? You're not on your radio show. And, oh, they hated it. I hate when you do that. Why do you even say that? You're so mean. Why do you have to tell me this? Can't you just turn it off? Only do it when you have customers. I'm sorry. I live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, dream it. Every single day of my life. This is who I am. This is a big part of my life. This is my life. This is my true identity coming more and more through. So who and what am I supposed to do? And what ended up happening was that my body started to break down. I could hardly move, I could hardly walk, but I did it anyway. I pushed myself through the pain so that you get used to the pain and you learn to function. It just kept going further and further of what I'm supposed to do until one night I cracked. I could feel inside of me, I can't take it anymore. We were watching TV and my husband made a crack and all he did was be himself about being negative about what we were watching, and I literally lost it because I'm not allowed to speak my voice. And it's not that I didn't want you to, but I couldn't stand the negativity anymore because to what he was saying, it was negative for me. And I'm thinking, shut up. He has the right to speak. I shouldn't have to stifle him. But we are growing farther out of sync with one another. I let him have his behavior, his actions, do whatever he wants because that's just who he is, and he should have that right. So that night, as I did a jam session, which I hadn't done one in almost a month, it felt like, and it was like, because we worked on everybody else's issues. And finally I said, no, this is my time. I need to bitch. I need to get this out. And so Spirit started to speak through me about how, here I go again, I'm going back in the old pattern of how I need to make them comfortable, and my comfort zone is that as long as they're not negative, they're not complaining, they're not hurt, and they're not pointing fingers and saying it's my fault for their unhappiness. And so I literally checked out, shut down, and couldn't do anymore. But my soul says, we're not playing this game. That's why we told you to do the pass switch in the first place. We're going to tell you you have to do a pass switch again. But this time is totally different, and we'll tell you how. Now have the courage to do this. And I said, okay.
I'm at work and you message me, I'm on a path switch again.
And we will let you know exactly more about what Scott thinks about this after this commercial, or this promo. Thank you.